Just one song, we'll be right back. Keep it locked. Bushobi as well, live on YouTube. So in case you want to be watching what is happening in the studios as well, feel free to get on Royal FM 94.3 FM YouTube. We'll be able to get to that. But for now, let's get to the music. Right back. It's 94.3 FM, the heartbeat of Kigali.
Bringing Kigali together.
Yeah.
94.3 Royal FM.
Sleezing and teasing, I'm sitting on them. All of my diamonds are dripping on them. I met him at
from the heartbeats of Kigali. 13 after 8 a.m.
4-4 kick drum pounding in my head.
Let's get to grind now. Serious business. Happy Tuesday. It is 13 minutes after 8 a.m. March 3rd, 2026. If you're going somewhere, probably need to grab a Spiro. That is, if you're stuck in traffic, need to get to your destination quickly or swiftly or easily. clearly in a cool way, in a very good way, without polluting the environment. I'm talking about Spiro, because which is that ride with purpose. So get on that. Could be work, could be an appointment, it could be your favorite hangout spot later on in the day, or anything you're going to do. Jump on Spiro, and remember, Spiro is truly energy on the move. And either way, I&M Bank is giving you an opportunity to win amazing goodies. Some of those amazing goodies could be a romantic dinner or a romantic evening with your loved one. Two of you in a very good place, serene, comfortable, relaxing, soothing. To reminisce and remind yourselves of how sweet love is. Could be anything to do with, that special moment with your loved one. So how do you do that? Get to the digital services of I&M Bank, use them, and then that way. Could be the I&M Bank app, could be the digital services, could be with the USSD *227 hash code, and then that way, if you use them frequently, that way you stand a chance to you win that amazing offer of the I&M Bank's romantic dinner date. So register by calling the number 0788162345 to join. There will be a draw that will be conducted. You could be called that, yes, if you've been using those services, digital services, online banking, the mobile, the bank app of I&M Bank, if they start 227 hash code, then you'll be able to win that. Why don't you get to grab that? It's Sinda na Bangi Mhorana, thanks to I&M Bank, and T's and C's do apply. And then if you're looking for university for your child, or your, a six leaver, and then you're looking for university which will be upgrading you, giving you the opportunity to go and make ends meet in the entire world, Mount Kigali University is that university for you. From education, law, hospitality, tourism, nursing, dentistry, media, IT, many courses available at Mount Kigali University. January, May, and September intakes available for you. Affordable fees and hands-on training. Success truly guaranteed, and it's closer than you think. So apply today by visiting the campus here in Chichichiro, Kagarama, or call the number 0781481176. You can also check the website. That's www.mkur.ac.rw. For those who want to upgrade, the postgraduate and undergraduate programs, they're all open for you. Mount Kigali University, they are empowering generations through quality education. This morning, we are so honored, by the way, to be joined by Chantal Mudahogora. Chantal is a genocide survivor, a clinical counselor at Solid Minds Rwanda. She's an award-winning wellness coach focused on trauma and self-awareness. This morning, we're so honored to have her in the studios. We've been having Justin from Solid Minds the other month of love. She shared so many things to do with love and all that. But this month, when I talk about wellness, when I talk about self-awareness, when I talk about things to do with trauma and all that stuff, you know what we're talking about. So the right person to talk to us through these things is Chantal Mudahogora. Chantal, good morning.
Good morning, Angelo.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Happy new month.
Thank you. You too.
This is not the month of love, but I know this month there's love shared all over, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But it's a month where we celebrate ladies.
Yes, women and girls.
Why is this month so special?
March is special for us because it's time where the world pauses and they celebrate us, especially March 8th, which is this weekend.
This Sunday, actually.
Yeah, so globally, we get celebrated. You celebrate your mothers, your sisters, your daughters. I think it shouldn't just be that. It should be the whole year. We can be celebrated the whole year.
That's so true.
Yeah.
When you came in, I don't know if they actually listened, but I was having an interesting conversation, and it was something to do with why is it that some men don't feel comfortable dating financially stable and powerful women? What is your take on that?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Actually, you shouldn't generalize it because there are men who are very comfortable dating women who have much higher positions than them and financially more stable. Maybe in Africa, in Rwanda, it's not a common thing, but it's coming because globally, I lived many years in North America, in Canada specifically, and that happens all the time. Women will be lawyers, men can be working in a factory, and they are okay. making very less money. And in the matter of fact, women are not looked at less as what men can do. And eventually, even when it comes to maternity leave, which is usually a women thing, men will also take paternity leave. So if the woman is making more money, is more having higher position in upper management, men will choose to stay home with the babies and then let their women go and be the breadwinner.
The kind of role sharing and all that stuff.
Yes, definitely.
And someone was telling me, is it to do with ego, the tradition, or maybe a misunderstanding of roles?
It's a mix of a number of things, number of factors, culture, where men are seen as the sole breadwinners in the family. Men are looked at people who should go out and look up to the family. Women will be staying behind. But I think the world is changing. Those traditions, we are now proven that one sole income is no longer sufficient to sustain the family. So that's why both parents have to go out and try to support each other and actually complement each other.
So the men who date financially stable and independent women are brave enough. It makes them men.
Actually, I think we should look up to the women. Like if my sons are going to get married, one of them is already married, you have to look up a woman who is quite capable,
contributing
to the family growth, to development,
because the dynamics have changed.
Absolutely, not only financially but also in terms of giving you ideas, being more creative, innovative. Women are not less human beings than men.
I think I'd be attracted to a woman that challenges me, that makes me think, that takes me to.
That's where the growth comes in, Angelo.
Thank you. We're talking about women and the special month of women. Ladies and gentlemen, you talked about, International Women's Day, which is happening on this 8th of March. It happens every single year. And one is asking themselves, why? What is it about? I mean, because we celebrate each and every... And by the way, Makyu, there's a man was saying that, why do we celebrate women? Why don't we celebrate International Men's Day?
There is an International Men's Day,
but it's not as celebrated as,
because you guys don't make it as big as we do it.
So why should we celebrate you? Why the International Women's Day?
Well, there is a history to it. It did not just came overnight to say, we need to celebrate women. No, historically speaking, the women have been left behind. Some countries, cultures will suppress, will oppress women. They will not go to school. They will not vote. It was until very recently where in developed countries where women were allowed to vote. Like in Canada, it was sometimes mid 70s. Very recently. So the movement started a long time ago in 20th century. And actually, in 1917, it started slowly in 1909, but 1917, that's where Russian women started this massive protest. They called it Bread and Peace. There were more of women who were working in the textile factories, yeah. So they started this massive protest for two reasons. Bread and peace. Bread because it was the first worldwide war, and they were protesting to end the hunger because there were no food, people were starving, and then peace because they wanted the war to end. So the women started. Those Russian women really did a good job to lay the foundation, but it wasn't until maybe 1977 where the UN adopted the March 8th as a Women's Day, International Women's Day, to empower women first of all, and also for gender equality. Because at the time we were talking about, like, that time the production era, the industrial era,
the industrial revolution era.
Yeah, the industrial revolution. It was more men, because women were perceived as weak human beings. So they wouldn't go to the factory, they wouldn't go work in the steel factory, they wouldn't work in all those which requires a heavy body people. However, that did not stop women to find their place. So it evolved from that time. How does it look like now in the history? I think this year's theme is rather interesting. It says give to gain.
Give to gain.
2026 theme is give to gain. And last year, 2025, it was called accelerate action. So they are attached to each other. We are trying to accelerate action of gender equality, whether legally, because you remember even in Rwanda, the pre-genocide era, women did not have much rights. They couldn't inherit. They couldn't open a bank account. Girls couldn't go to school. Like, there was so much of discrimination happening.
There were very many stereotypes.
Absolutely. And now, even parents themselves, they wouldn't look equally to their sons and daughters.
Education.
Yeah, they would privilege sons, but daughters are supposed to stay home and help mom with home chores. But now, that gender equality is actually happening. We have made some strides. So this month's theme, Give to Gain, everybody should have a deeper reflection to say, what should I give to gain more gender equality, to promote more young girls and women? Because I think Rwanda is a good example. Globally, yes, there are some achievements that we can celebrate, but the post-genocide Rwanda, I think it's globally we have done so well in terms of giving women's rights. I was part of that movement early on, 1994, 1995, 1996, 1990, until before I left for Canada. I was privileged to be part of these women who were part of the movement, and thank God to our leadership. We had people who could listen, and here we are. Like, when you look at the achievements of Rwandan women in the last 30 years, we have done amazingly well, whether it's private sector, public sector, decision making, legislators. Like, we are everywhere, and I don't think we are ready to step down anytime.
Not at all.
So women and girls now are much empowered. They are no longer going just for social science, which is good, but they are also thriving for high tech schools and science,
mechanized work,
mechanized ones,
all those professions that were stereotyped eventually.
Yeah, there are constructions on the side. Like, we are not second human beings. We are equally, and it only makes sense, and it only actually gives a country a balance. And also, when we talk about human rights, that's a sign that Rwanda has already done well. So I think why we are here for about women and mental health, or mental well-being, rather, I think that's where we will be covering in our next sessions, because I think we are looked at people who are vulnerable, who are emotionally driven.
A weaker sex.
We are weak.
Emotionally vulnerable, fragile,
Yeah, all of that. We will dissect those perceptions of the society towards girls and women, and why we are different with men, but also how are we equally complementing each other. Because I think the world without women will be I can't even imagine how it will look like. But I think we will dissect more, and we'll go deeper psychologically, but also our well-being structure, our body structure, what goes wrong, what changes, why sometimes we are perceived as weak people. when we actually talk about those strengths women have. You may not be physically strong or physically whatever, but now we are in the gyms, we are in the military, we are everywhere, so we can also build muscles, right?
You're on the steering wheel now.
Yes, definitely.
You're in the drive.
Yeah, women are driving trucks, women are pilots.
You know,
we are in all of that. So I think we will go deeper psychologically and see how we are different, but also how we complement each other.
Quite interesting. You see, when you get to when you talk about femininity and the fact that, thank God, you have in this International Women's Day, which is commemorated each and every single year to celebrate the women, to empower women, to remind them that they are strong enough to, steer growth, development, wellness, and well-being, survival of the families, and the contributions, their contributions to the overall development and growth of the entire nation. See that usually when one talks about women, there are always divided ideas and perceptions about people thinking it's gender. And what is this thing about gender in this case? Would you help somebody understand? Because it also informs them that, because if we misperceive or misconceive these kind of, should I call them terminologies, that way we end up affecting either parties. So what is gender in this case, and how does one understand it?
Gender is what it is. It's
is it man? Is it woman?
Yeah, it is man. It is woman. But in this women's rights, we talk about gender equality.
Exactly.
Because legally, and we are looking more into systemic discriminations. There were times where, yes, cultural society, we still have a long way to go for some communities and countries, but generally speaking, gender is what you identify with. If you are a woman and you know you are a woman, and you are a young girl, you identify with the female gender. If you are a man, you identify yourself with the male gender. But it's more a terminology we use when we are talking about rights, women's rights. What went wrong? How did they were left behind, and what can be done to empower them and also celebrate them? Because women give life, right?
I mean, nobody would be here without a woman.
Exactly, nobody. Yeah, so I think the gender issue to me is not even the question, because what is the question is how we are tolerating each other. How do we share this space called the world, the universe? How do I find my place and you find your place, and we both meet somewhere and then we complement each other? But it's not about one staying behind. And the laws, like sometimes laws did not give us any rights at all. Yeah, you are born. You and I, we are brothers and sisters, and you inherit my parents' inheritance, and I don't get anything. It doesn't make sense, right? So there were things which are really genuinely discriminating women.
After all of you are children.
Absolutely.
From my gender classes at Macquarie back then, year one, I think, if I remember, this concept of gender, when we're taught actually that socially constructed roles, responsibilities,
yes,
between males and females, that you're born a male and this is an expectation of you. Absolutely. A female, this is an expectation of you, or this is what is expected of you. And when you look at what you've actually traditionally said, say the patriarchal society, now they say with what the patriarchy described women to be and all that.
Yeah.
So does that align with for example, if you say this year's theme is it give? You said give.
And it says give to gain. Give to gain. So.
And you look at some of those roles and responsibilities constructed socially over time. I know they've been debated. They've been actually argued here and there. There've been improvements. If you look at that theme, for example, this year, and considering how it has helped women get to the level where they are right now, what would one say it has contributed to the wellness of women, and in consideration of how the society perceives the women currently.
Absolutely. Yes, it has. It raised awareness, and also it happened that some people who were threatened, because some people were threatened if we empower women, men will lose their manhood, their respect in the society. But that was proved not to be true, because we are not here to move someone from their chairs. We are here just to find our way. So I think the resistance from different cultures, but also different, like some religions, people felt a little bit scared or threatened by women. But I think now it has been proved that actually we are here to contribute to the society as well. We are not less than men. So at that time, people were more, they were kind of a little bit eased. They are not threatened anymore. They feel like if my wife can, or my daughter can learn how to read and write and can contribute to the income in the house, like who is against that? I think the society is getting to the point where we need to respect each other in our diversity. Not because I cannot do what you do, maybe lifting up couches in the house, it doesn't make me less. Because when I'm in labor giving a child to you, you cannot do it.
I always consider that a special gift.
Yes,
a
absolutely.
Sacrifice that one goes through.
Absolutely. God made us, I'm a believer. He made us differently, but also he gave us strength in which responsibilities we have. However, what I always tell women, especially in Africa, because when I left Africa, I would call myself activist for women's rights. However, when I moved to Canada, our needs were different. For us, we were talking about changing the law, constitution, and we were talking about going to school, like basic needs that women have been deprived. For them, it was a completely different board game, because for them, they have reached the point where now things are flipping. They really want genuinely to take men's roles, positions. So for me, I was like, no, that's not what we are at in Africa. That's not what it means for me. So I had to go slowly, because I need to learn the society and learn where they come from and learn. But they also come from a very, very bad situation where women were being killed intentionally by men, and where men will walk into a female school, like young girls' school, and shoot them. You know the history of Montreal, when girls were in engineering school, and some guy decided to walk in and shoot girls, because he said girls shouldn't be engineers. For him, it was that serious. So they had different variances. They have different claims. They have different complaints which was different. Well, which is something that I always tell African feminists and even Rwandan activists, gender activists, that we always to bring things home. We cannot copy and paste what is happening elsewhere, because we don't have the same history, we don't have same background, we don't have same...
We're totally different.
We are. So we should bring these things home. And I think pioneers in Rwanda, we knew that we could not copy and paste. This is not a copy and paste situation. You need to bring things home and look at the reality of our society, the background, the history, and then where we are going. Where do we want to take this? Where women of Rwanda want to see themselves 50 years from now, 60 years from now, 70 years from now. Not just what is going on globally and being harsh. Any movement, you have to have a strategy, and you have to have a voice, and you have to have a way of gaining what you need, but not just doing what others are doing, because then society has its own specifications.
What could be applied in, say, for example, Canada, might not be applied here. Like you're saying,
Definitely not.
you look for a way of domesticizing, what is applicable here,
Yes,
or what will
bring it
work for the
home.
people here, as long as it's uplifting the society and for a better coexistence.
Absolutely.
And you see, for example, there are abductions in, say, Nigeria. You've always heard of these stories, so sad,
Sadly.
with some girls being taken as wives, to these
By force, yeah.
by force, and although you're talking about this,
And the human trafficking, like
exactly,
we still have some extreme people who still, but there are few. Except that when you do bad things, it's like a fire in the dry season. So I think there's still way to go, but we also still need to be strategic. And we will try to look at it in a more deeper way in our next talks, because also there's a way that some men feel that women are at their service, so they have the capacity to do whatever they want, play with their bodies and other things. Part of the things we will be looking at will be our strength and vulnerability, because when it comes to the gender we're talking about, there are some men who feel that women are there just
objects
for sexual reasons. They see them as objects you can play around, and that's not okay. Our bodies should be respected, especially those young ones who can't even consent. So
your body is your right.
Yes, it's my right to consent to whatever you want. It shouldn't be looked at just a tool. And that part, in some parts of the world, it's still sadly very vivid in the societies. So I'm glad that in Rwanda we have leadership which actually protects women, though we still see things like those unwanted pregnancies and stuff. So we will be dissecting all of those things, why women are so vulnerable, to the point where some societies don't even protect them from having the right to exist.
I'm sure when you talk about rights and how best we should change perceptions,
Absolutely.
of the men, for example, the males, how they, for example, subjugate women and how they see them and how they perceive them and how the role they should play in their lives. I'm sure there's a friend of mine, Sanga Sovi, Yes. So
she's my friend as well.
Yes, we'll be smiling, especially when you talk about my body, my rights.
Absolutely.
There you go. There's a video that I actually came across, and actually when I talked about it in the morning, I think at around 7 something, I got so emotional. There's a video, not even gentlemen. A gentleman can't do such. Two, let me call them boys, were stamping on a lady, one punching her on the ground, pulling, I think, the lady, I think.
Oh, yes, in the night.
You saw,
yeah,
you
I
saw
it.
Not the other one who was slapping.
Oh, not the other one? Okay.
These are two gentlemen. Actually, police arrested them, the suspects. These two men, these two boys, these are boys now, one was punching, another one was slapping and stamping on the lady who was on the ground, because she held on the leg of the boy, and then the boy pulled. She was pulled over, and then kept on stamping on that. That was something very bad, and I was asking myself, where have we reached where you find that somebody is forming instead of going to prevent them from escalating into a brawl or maybe injuries, and I don't know whether it's something to do with the vulnerabilities, or it is a collapsed society, or it has something to do with our mental health. Either we disturbed that. For example, now I'm thinking in this case your opinion on that and how the society is getting to, because we are normalizing filming violence instead of jumping into that violence to help rather that fight to help it to prevent it from escalating. Why is it getting to that? And especially it happens between men and women.
Well, the aggressors are all over the place, and the aggressors, perpetrators, whatever you call them, there are many reasons what they do. When it comes to misogyny, there are a few things which causes that, but without knowing the case, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. But the gender violence or domestic violence or whatever violence it is, I think in Rwanda we need to also start looking into how to teach girls for self-defense, because other places it happens. In Canada, for example, girls in the elementary school, they will be taught how some self-defense techniques.
Some karate?
No, there are simple things you can do that don't need necessarily to go to martial arts. I think we should get there where we can teach girls how to defend themselves.
Should
if
they
someone
find themselves in situations?
Yes, exactly. If someone aggresses you on the road, on the street, in the dark alley, where you are walking in the park, like all those things, if they happen, you should have basic knowledge of how to defend yourself. Yeah.
Quite interesting. And I don't know why, but you see, when you talk about femininity, and especially the fact that we're celebrating International Women's Day in this Sunday, this week, and of course this entire month, things to do with coexistence. Has the boy child been neglected, where they get to say that, okay, there's been affirmative action, promoting women's rights, and all initiatives that have been coming up each and every single day, organizations supporting women and all that, women's rights and all that stuff. What about the boy child and things to do with that kind of coexistence for a better society?
Absolutely. I think in Africa and in Rwanda, I think we are still okay, but when you look at in North America, for example, there are some areas where boys are starting to be marginalized in schools and even in the workplace. So there's a need now to empower boys, not to feel like they're left out or they're left behind or frustrate them in one way or the other. I think in Rwanda we are okay. We can still putting some prevention measurements in place, but in North America definitely there's a lot of being shy, shying away, not being themselves, trying to be conditioned in a way that you don't touch a woman, you don't like. There's so much that even when you walk in the park, if you're about to cross a gentleman, they have to go on the other side, so they won't come close to you, just in case you may feel threatened or feel unease. So I don't think we are there yet, but we can do some good job of preventing that to flip on to the other side, where boys feel frustrated. What I see actually in Rwanda and elsewhere, especially for the work I do in mental health, I see a lot of resignation to responsibilities from men and from young men. They feel intimidated. They feel, not because there's a real reason why, but I guess from what they see in the society, what they see at home, they have this fear of being rejected or not being accepted. But I think that perception also, it comes with a level of vulnerability of maybe the family dynamics, how you grow up, and the kind of care you received. Maybe we'll talk about it, how a child, even at the 5 years old, the child starts identifying in gender. And at that time, if parents are not emotionally present and physically present, that child will be damaged until adulthood. And
that damage will have an impact on them.
Very impactful, even in their own relationships, in their own family setting. Like, it becomes a burden for the child to have that kind of gap. And I wish I think we will dive into it, where it causes actually a lot of childhood trauma, just because the parents were not there for you.
Yeah,
and that happens a lot.
No wonder they always say, hurt people.
Absolutely.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Chantal Mudahogora is a genocide survivor and a clinical counselor. She's also an award-winning wellness coach focused on who specializes in trauma and self-awareness. We're discussing something very important: the International Women's Day, its impact, its relevance, and also femininity. When we return, we shall be understanding what is femininity and how does it connect a bit to mental health, or besides what is mental health itself, as we get to the end of the show. It's Kigali in the morning.
Hey Kigali, have you been to Afroquality yet? Because everyone is talking about
days is what is happening, and we're so honored to host Chantal Mudahogora this morning. She's talking to us stuff to do with wellness, femininity, and she's also helped us understand International Women's Day and why that day and why is it being celebrated, and then why is it also getting to help us understand what mental health is and what femininity is in this day and age we are in. In the meantime, before we get back to the conversation, it's very important to remind you that I&M Bank is giving you a chance to win up to 500,000 Rwandan francs. This is for you who uses the digital services. Could be the I&M Bank app, could be the online banking, could also be the you that uses the *227# USSD code. So if you use that frequently, you'll be able to stand a chance to win that money. Not only that, there's a romantic dinner date, the trip to Mombasa as well, and of course not forgetting the iPhone 17 Pro Max smartphones, thanks to I&M Bank in Tsinda, the banking ongoing promotion. One thing though, for you to register to be able to win this, you should be able to call the number that's 0788162345. Terms and conditions apply. That's I&M Bank Tsinda na banki Muhorana. So before we went back to the break, I was asking, help us understand what is femininity and how should, especially the men, because it is as if these two genders are competing, yet they should coexist.
Yes.
For those who don't understand femininity, what is it?
Well, femininity is opposite of masculinity.
Hey.
But femininity, it's a global way of talking about anything which makes a woman in terms of their qualities,
Value,
attributes,
respect, attributes, contributions.
Anything that is a makeup of a characteristics of a woman or a girl or a young girl. So it's not just something in one word that you can explain. It's anything which has to do with qualities of women, attributes, who they are really, anything which can serve as a characteristic of a girl or a woman. It's nothing, sometimes it gets misinterpreted to feminism, to other things, but that's what it is. Femininity is just those qualities that we see in women.
That are appreciated.
That are appreciated.
That contribute to the wellness
Into
and the well-being
society,
of the
actually.
society.
Mhm.
And there are very many characteristics, there are very many roles that women do.
Absolutely.
You see, earlier talked about where or what would this world be without women.
It will be finished.
The friends I always talk to, I'm like, okay, imagine you're stressed at work
Mm.
and you have a wife at home. Oh, she's also working, because we are working these days. We both work, you understand? And I'm like, okay, you get back home, you have nobody to talk to. Because this, I think it's within your nature. I beg to be corrected if I get
We are
get it wrong.
mothers.
Your
So,
nature,
yeah, our nature is
Exactly.
motherhood. Even young girls, I have 2 boys and a daughter, and she's the youngest. But I could see how she cares about everyone, and she's the youngest of the family. But even at the very tender age, she will make sure that, like, you can see the difference even at the very tender age, and that's our nature. Our nature is caring, is tender, is love, is that unconditional love. And that has to do with the fact I was talking about it jokingly, the fact that we give life. Women are here to give life.
that noble.
Even if the women who did not have a chance to have children on their own, they still care for someone. They still give life to someone in terms of giving them opportunities, in terms of even just being there for them. Women are nurturing.
And you see, when you say that unconditional love, it gets me to ask myself, for example, some women who mother children with fathers or men, because the father really cares, and so
Yeah,
in this
and-
case with men,
Yeah. And all men are not fathers,
Exactly.
even if they can bear children.
and whether the man is there or not, this woman loves unconditionally this child that she's born.
I think when you have something that is there for you and has always been there for you, as a human being, we tend to take it for granted. You will hear women always saying, oh, the day I gave birth to my first child, I had so much respect for my mother. So because men don't give birth, sometimes they take women for granted. We are always there. We have always been there. You go from your mother to your wife to your daughter. Like, it is that circle which you feel like you are always surrounded by women. And sometimes you don't sit back and think what my world will be like. Mind you, though, I there are a few cases where women will also hurt. Will hurt their children, will hurt their spouses, will hurt the society, but those are rare cases. And most of the time, like in men's life, sometimes they are not okay themselves. Nobody hurts the other intentionally. There's always something going on within themselves, which probably made them bitter. And we'll talk about it when we talk about emotional resilience, you were talking about emotional intelligence a minute ago, emotional regulation. We will see that when that role of giving life gets compromised, what happens in a woman's life. Yeah, so we will dissect that.
See, she's giving us a little bit of a sneak preview, a sneak peek into what we should be discussing this entire month. And talking about say mental wellness or mental health, and how, for example, you've talked about, despite you giving unconditional love, and there's those moments, rare occasions, which are very bad, that women will end up hurting. You know, for example, once they're supposed to be loving, what are those occasions where one is led into hurting the other person? And considering your femininity, you know, your characteristic in the way you are, you lovely people, you care, you nurture, you give life, you find yourselves hurting. What leads to this? I think this is actually leading us into that mental health, which I'll be discussing the next time.
Yeah. So much as we talk about gender equality, it's not only for when we talk about women's right, we don't forget men's right. Like sometimes in few cases or in rare cases, men will be also abused. I think you saw a picture, like some
the lady was
images trending, but those cases exist. They are fewer. Sometimes men don't come out when they're being abused home, when they're living in a gender violence situation.
Ego,
If they are
society.
if they don't want to look weak or, but it
But
is
we are also
important.
weak somewhere, somehow.
It's important. Everybody is vulnerable one way or the other. We are human beings. We're not. Yeah. So I think men should come out more and look for their own justice. Though there are a few cases, but we still have to consider those. It's not just one-way street. Coming back to your question about what happens in that situation, there are many reasons why things happen. Women go through some conditions which are also complicated, and sometimes things come from childhood, where you grew up, what kind of wounds you sustained, emotional wounds you sustained as a child. There's many reasons. There are many reasons why people will become bitter. When you have bitterness in you, it will spill out in your environment, no matter what.
And you should not contain it.
No. Well,
although there are ways to express it.
You should contain if it is harmful.
Yes.
Or you should seek help if you feel the bitterness is actually causing harm,
because it is going to end up
explode. Because our society and upbringing, we are taught to suppress, but we do know that suppressing is not always the best thing, because that box where you are holding all the pain, it will explode one way or the other.
You'll break.
Yeah, you will break.
Ladies and gentlemen, she is Chanel Mudahogora. She's works with Solid Minds Rwanda here in Kigali. Seek them for that help. Do not stay in that box. Do not stay caged in that kind of pain you're in. Share with somebody. Do not break down.
Seek help.
Seek help. It's very important. And seeking help is not an act of weakness. What would be your maybe take home or your package for today for somebody who's just listened in to us?
Yes, yeah. You just said it, Angelo. I think our society is we are supposed to hold in. It suppress a lot. I usually use the example of the women, especially in the village. I don't see it in town much, but a little kid, a toddler, will fall down, cry because they're in pain or they're afraid or threatened, and then the mom will lift them up and give them slap them how many times just because they fell and they cried. Now they need to stop crying because they get slapped. So that's
ironical.
Yeah, that double pain. It's something that people do maybe out of thinking they are giving them a lesson to be more stronger, but they're actually making them more vulnerable than anything else. So I think we need to be mindful and intentional how we raise our children, because the love and the care that you give them at the tender age will actually create a balanced life emotionally and behavior-wise as they grow up.
Wow, thank you so much. We shall have Justin next Tuesday, and you've already
Chantal.
had. Oh God, why is Justin in my mind?
It's because she was there last month. You spent so much time with her.
Please
She's my
forgive me.
colleague.
Yes,
Yeah.
that colleague though.
Yeah.
Chantal Mdogara will be with us next Tuesday. I beg your pardon on that, and stand by, because what we are really keeping for you this entire month, you really will benefit.
Next Tuesday, we'll be diving into stress management and understanding mental health of women.
And stress?
Stress kills people.
Hey.
So our listeners should tune in next Tuesday.
There you go. You're invited to that. For now, let's get to the news. Good morning.
From around the world in 3 minutes. The news updates on 94.3 Royal FM. The heartbeat of Kigali.